Hi, today I'm going to show you how to sharpen a bowl gouge. At first I found the bowl gouge to be the toughest lathe tool to sharpen, but once I got the proper tools and accessories to do so and learned the proper technique, it became pretty easy. Let me share it with you. The profile I prefer on my bowl gouges is called the Ellsworth grind. It's a swept back grind. Before we go any further, it'll help if you understood some basic concepts in sharpening a lathe tool. When we sharpen tools such as bowl gouges, spindle gouges, or a roughing gouge, there are a couple different ways we move the tool to sharpen, and it's called roll or sweep. For instance, the roughing gouge is a tool that requires all roll. The tool is laid onto the grinding wheel and it is rolled side to side. And that's how we produce this type of bevel. Now a tool like a spindle gouge requires both roll and sweep. There's a slight swept back to the bevel. So when we sharpen this tool, the tool is rolled, but the tool is also swept sideways. Now as you can see, a spindle gouge consists mostly of roll, but with a slight sweep to the back. Now in contrast, our bowl gouge has very little roll to it, but a very, very large percentage of sweep to the back. Now achieving this roll and sweep by hand is really difficult. That's why I choose to use the one-way Wolverine jig system. Here I've got the basic pocket and the vari-grind attachment. Now the vari-grind attachment has an adjustment that'll let you control the amount of roll or sweep. With the leg adjusted up at the top of the vari-grind jig, we get mostly roll with a slight sweep. This is what we want to use when we sharpen a spindle gouge. When we sharpen a bowl gouge, we move the leg down towards the bottom. This will introduce more sweep side to side with just a slight amount of roll. Now we place the bowl gouge into the vari-grind jig. We tighten it down slightly. Now what we have to do is get a certain distance between the tip of the bowl gouge and the base of the jig. In order to achieve this, I've made this other jig. It's basically a wooden block that's been drilled out with a Forstner bit so it gives us a flat bottom. It's 1 3/4 inches deep. That's the projection I want for the tool. So next, we take and place the block of wood against the tip of the bowl gouge. We bottom the bowl gouge out against the block of wood, push it against the base of the jig, and now we tighten our screw. And that gives us the desired 1 3/4 inch projection. It doesn't have to be exactly 1 3/4 inches. It could be 2 inches. It's just got to be repeatable each time you go to sharpen the tool. Now we place our vari-grind jig into the pocket and we place the tool against the wheel. Now we have to try to get the bevel of the tool flush against the wheel right here. And here's a neat trick to achieve this. We take a magic marker and we color in the front of our bevel. Once again, we place the vari-grind jig into the rest. We place our tool against the wheel and we turn the wheel with our hand. And as you can see, the marker was removed cleanly from the top of the bevel to the bottom. Now this assures us that the bevel of the tool is resting flush against the wheel. Had there been some marker remaining at the top of the bevel, we would have simply moved the jig further away from the wheel. If there were marker remaining at the base of the bevel, we would have moved the jig closer to the wheel. And now we're ready to sharpen. As always, whenever we sharpen our lathe tools, make sure you put on your safety glasses. We turn on our grinding wheel. We let it come up to speed. Then we place our jig into the rest and lightly touch the tool against the wheel. Now before we get to grinding, let me point something out very important. This tool has what's called a fingernail grind. There's two long sides and a short front where the bevel is. When we use this grinding tool, it's going to help us get the proper angles on the bevels, but it's not going to maintain the profile. We have to do this by eye, and I'll show you an easy way to do that. Now, the natural tendency is to start grinding on one side, go to the center, go to the other side, back to the center, and now back to our original side. This is not good. For every one time we touch a side, we're going to touch the nose twice. That would flatten the fingernail profile we've worked so hard to achieve. Instead, we're going to start on one side, lift the tool from the sharpening wheel, go to the other side. Then once we have both sides sharpened, then we will touch the nose and work it back and forth. That way we have control of the profile we want to achieve. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, we turn on our wheel. We let it come up to speed. We place our tool in the rest. Now I'm going to start with one side. I lift the tool. I go to the other side, touch the tool to the wheel. Lift the tool again. Now I touch the nose of the tool and I can control the profile I want to achieve. And now we've got a really nice sharp tool with the swept back that we want. And we were able to maintain the really nice fingernail grind at the front of the bowl gouge that we've worked so hard to achieve. And there you go. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.